Okay, on the night of September 5th, 1944, we came through the town of Namur, Belgium. And as we came through in open bed trucks. And the people in the town, we were evidently the first Americans into the town after the Germans left. And the people from the town gave us fresh bread and green beer. And I never drank anything green beer, but that's beer that's not quite ripe yet. And we'd had that. They handed it up to us in the trucks. Well, then they took us from the Namur down to the Meuse River, and they settled us, got us out of the trucks, and it was going on to dark, and the engineers brought up little 10-man boats, I guess they were, to go across the river to attack the town on the other side of the Meuse River. Well, at dark, they put us in these boats, 10 men to a boat, gave us each a paddle, and we were to paddle across the river to the mainland and start up the embankment of this towards this village. In doing so, as we rowed across, we got in trouble because most of us were not used to rowing with a paddle, and the boat kept going around in circles because some fellows were rowing one way and some were rowing the other way, paddling one way and the paddling the other way, and the boat kept going around in circles. But finally we got straightened out and we rowed across the river. Well, lo and behold, we got out and we thought we were on the mainland. We started running towards the embankment to go up the hills, and here we run into water again. We had landed on an island. Unbeknownst to anybody, there was an island there. So we were very frustrated. The Germans were firing down at us with mortars and machine guns. And we got back in the boats again, rowed back to where we started from, on the other side of the canal, got reorganized, and they put us back in the boats again, sent us back over. What do you know? We landed on the same island. And now we were really frustrated because we didn't know what to do, so we rowed back again. Well, then they decided that we would go over in daylight, and they put us in a railroad tunnel that was there's a railroad running along this river, and there was a tunnel there. So they took us, and we spent the rest of the night in that tunnel till daylight broke. Well, in the meantime, the engineers had come in and built a bridge across the river for us. And it was just big enough for the soldiers to cross. They couldn't get any big weapons, any tanks or anything like that. So that morning we crossed the river on this September 6th. We crossed the river in this bridge. Germans never fired a shot. As we advanced up this wooded, this hillside, it was covered with trees. It was a very thick wooded area. And we got about halfway up the hill when the Germans came at us again. This time they got in and split our troops up, and the ammunition bearers weren't with the machine guns, and it was just we were just didn't know what to do. And I heard our company commander, who was a captain, say, "Okay, men, we're surrounded. You're on your own. Get out the best way you can." So that was frustrating because I didn't know what to do, but there was a sergeant with us. And there was 4 other guys and myself, and this sergeant said, "Well, let's try to get into the town because I speak French, and maybe we can get the people to hide us till this is over with." So we started up an embankment, and lo and behold, on the top of the embankment is standing a bunch of Germans firing down at us. So we run back down into the woods. At that time, I had a German Luger and a holster with me. And the sergeant said, "Men, we're trapped down here. We're not going to get out of here unless we give up." So they decided to give up. In the meantime, one of the Germans had thrown a hand grenade, and one of the fellows had got hit in the leg, and he was screaming. So we just decided, well, that's our only way out is to give up. Well, I was afraid to go up to them with my Luger, so I took the Luger out of and they hit the holster off my belt, and I wrapped my handkerchief around the Luger and put it in the holster. Then I dug a hole in the ground and buried it. Well, we went up with our arms up and hollering, "Comrade, comrade," and the Germans quit firing at us, and they sent down troops to take us. And the fellow came to me, spoke English, and he was an SS trooper. And I didn't know what to do. Of course, I was only 18 years old, and I was frightened to death because I hadn't experienced anything like this. And, I started to drop everything I had on me, and he told me not to get rid of my jacket, to keep my ammunition belt with the water canteen on it, because he said I'm going to need that. And he wanted my first aid kit because he said that they had so many wounded, they didn't have enough medical supplies, so they were taking all the first aid kits from us to help the wounded. Now I don't know whether they were Americans or Germans, but anyhow he claimed they had quite a few. Well, from there, after they got us rounded up, they took us to a barn just outside this small town, and that's where they kept us all the rest of the day till dark came, and then they marched us out of there to trucks. And there was a German soldier walking beside me, and I kept asking where we're going, and he kept saying Otto, Otto, and I thought we were going to see some guy by the name of Otto. What he meant was trucks, that they were going to put us in trucks, and they did. They finally got us to the trucks, and they took us into Luxembourg, and it was daylight by that time. And the people in Luxembourg we're in open bed trucks, and the people in Luxembourg started throwing stuff at us, so we couldn't figure out why. And eventually we got through the town, and they took us to a concentration camp. Is that enough? Okay.